Friends of Africa and Côte d'Ivoire. Thank you for coming here today to participate in this important dialogue. We would like to apologize on behalf of His Excellency Yusuf Bamba, permanent representative of Côte d'Ivoire to the United Nations, who is unable to be here today. He was summoned over the weekend to attend an emergency meeting of the African Union in Addis Ababa to address the deteriorating situation on the ground in Côte d'Ivoire. This forum is organized by ISAC, African Immigrant Strategic Advisory Council, in collaboration with US West Africa Group and Konya. We convene this forum to address the worsening condition involving the killing of innocent civilians in Côte d'Ivoire. This is eluding the nation and its people. Violence is increasing across the country, and lives are being lost on a daily basis, as we hear on the news. All Ivorians have this in common: a passionate desire for a peaceful, stable, and prosperous Côte d'Ivoire. So how do we get there from here? We would like to have this discourse regardless of a party that we support. Our mission here is to inform and share ideas that will contribute to the resolution of the crisis. The event is moderated by Ken Johnson, who is the co-founder of ISAC and principal of Konya. I now give the floor to Mr. Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kady. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, is experiencing an ever-growing level of violence. There's killing on a regular basis. Last year, Ivorians witnessed an unprecedented swearing-in of two presidents, Mr. Laurent Gbagbo, the incumbent, and Mr. Alassane Ouattara, the man widely believed and seen by the international community to have won the election by a margin of 54%. Laurent Gbagbo, however, enjoys the support of the security forces. So what we have effectively in place in Côte d'Ivoire is a political impasse. Ivory Coast stands on the political precipice. It is important that we draw attention to this very important issue because the potential for the conflict to spill over to neighboring Liberia, which is seeing mass amounts of influx of Ivorians crossing the border. Further complicating matters is the fact that there's been reports that Liberian mercenaries are now in Abidjan. The countries of the Non-River Union, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, are themselves, well, at least the first two, are emerging from their own civil war, and they remain fragile states. So the potential for this to spill over and further destabilize this region is very, very real. So to address this and many other issues, I'm joined by His Excellency Daouda Diabate. Mr. Diabate is the ambassador, the Ivorian ambassador to the United States. He was appointed by Alassane Ouattara. Mr. Diabate's credentials were approved by the State Department and presented to President Obama on February 13, 2011. Mr. Diabate has served his government for over 35 years. In 1994, he was appointed ambassador to Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, and as permanent representative to the Organization of African Unity, which is now the AU, African Union. He's also appointed to the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, the United Nations Environment Program, and was an AU observer to the presidential elections in Algeria in 1995 and in Uganda in 1996. From 1997 to 2001, he served as ambassador to Morocco. Between April 2004 and November 2007, he served as Côte d'Ivoire's ambassador to the United States and Bahamas. Prior to returning to the United States in February 2011, he served as Côte d'Ivoire's ambassador to Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, Colombia, and Uruguay. Between 2001 and 2004, he was the permanent secretary of the Ministry of State and Ministry of Foreign Affairs with the rank of a deputy minister. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Diabate. On my immediate left is Mr. Raymond Gilpin. Mr. Gilpin is the Associate Vice President for the United States Institute of Peace, USIP. He directs USIP's Center for Sustainable Economies, one of the Institute's Center of Innovation. He leads the Institute's work on analyzing relationships among economic actors during all stages of conflict. In doing so, he collates best practices from practitioners and experts and designs appropriate capacity building and tools for conflict environments. He teaches the Economics and Conflict course at USIP and manages a web-based international network for economics and conflict. Before joining USIP, Mr. Gilpin served as academic chair for defense economics at the Africa Center for Strategic Studies at the National Defense University. Also director for international programs at IntelliBridge Corporation, which is now the Eurasia Group. He was a senior economist at the African Development Bank, a research director at the Central Bank of Sierra Leone, and an economist at the World Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Mr. Gilpin. On my far right is Mr. Jason Small. Mr. Small is Deputy Director of the Office of West African Affairs at the United States Department of State. Prior to assuming this position in January 2010, Mr. Small served as a Brookings Institute Legis Fellow on the staff of the U.S. House Appropriations Committee and as Deputy Director of the Office of Sudan Programs Group. During his tenure, Mr. Small participated in the Sudan peace talks in Kenya that achieved a comprehensive peace agreement, which was in 2005, and also the Darfur peace talks in Nigeria that led to the Darfur peace agreement in 2006. Mr. Small also served as the department's Iraq's transition team in 2004. He has received numerous honors for his work. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Small. So we'll get right to it. Let me begin with the ambassador of Côte d'Ivoire. And let me begin by asking you to give us a brief synopsis of the current situation on the ground.